Good morning, champions! Today I bring a message that is urgent, immediate, and life altering. For too long, so many of us have been standing in the shadows of delay, whispering our prayers, hoping for something miraculous, yearning for that breakthrough that seems just beyond our reach. I know what it feels like. I have been there myself, pacing the quiet halls of my own heart, wondering if God had forgotten me. I remember nights when the world was asleep, but I could not rest because the visions, the dreams, and the callings God placed inside of me were stirring, demanding attention. I felt the weight of waiting pressing on my spirit, heavy and suffocating. And yet, in the silence, in the moments when everything seemed still, I heard it, the whisper of God saying, "Your waiting is over. Can I tell you something?" That word is a revolution in itself. It changes the energy in your soul. It awakens your spirit. It ignites a fire you didn't even know was there. Waiting is not wasted when God is preparing you, but there comes a moment when preparation meets opportunity, when seasons shift, when doors swing wide open, and you realize the waiting was never for nothing. It was for this moment. I want you to picture it, the sky, dark and heavy, suddenly splitting with rays of sunlight, pouring warmth, light, and clarity into a world that felt frozen. That light is your breakthrough. That light is God saying, "Move forward now. Step into the destiny I have prepared for you." I know some of you have been waiting for promotions, for relationships to align, for doors of opportunity to open, for healing, for answers. Maybe you have been praying for months or even years, and the clock seems silent. But let me remind you, champions, God's timing is perfect, and his timing is not bound by your calendar. Sometimes the waiting feels endless, but that is only because the shift you are about to experience is too significant to be rushed. The greater the change, the longer the preparation. Yet, right now, the season is tipping. The momentum is building. What you have been waiting for, the alignment you have been seeking is here. This is the moment to lift your eyes. Look around you, not just at what you see, but at what is invisible. The doors are opening, the people, opportunities, finances, and divine encounters you need are moving into place, even if you cannot see them yet. Your breakthrough is gestating, it is growing in the invisible realm, and soon it will manifest in your life with power and precision. Do you feel that energy in your spirit, that trembling excitement? That is God stirring your faith and your courage. That is God telling you that your waiting is no longer necessary, that it is time to rise, to step, to believe, and to move. Now, champions, I want you to awaken to God's urgent message. Listen carefully, because this is not just any message. This is a clarion call for your life, a divine interruption that demands your attention. Life is noisy. There are voices everywhere, distractions pulling you in 1,000 directions. And sometimes it feels impossible to discern what God is saying above the clamor. But God's voice is distinct. It pierces through the chaos. It does not shout, it whispers, it nudges, it aligns your heart to the truth you already carry deep inside. I remember a night not long ago when everything in my life seemed uncertain. Opportunities were delayed, prayers seemed unanswered, and I felt weary in my spirit. And then, in the quiet of that night, God spoke a single word to me, just one word, one simple word, but it carried authority, clarity, and destiny. That one word shifted everything. It redirected my steps, reordered my priorities, and opened doors I never thought possible. Champions, sometimes the divine message comes quietly, and if we are not paying attention, we miss it. That's why God calls us to awaken, to open our spiritual ears and our hearts, to rise above fear and doubt, and to respond immediately when He speaks. This is the moment when you must silence the noise of the world, silence the voices of limitation, and listen only to Him. God's message to you is urgent because the window for your breakthrough is now. This is your divine appointment. Opportunities that seemed impossible are aligning, encounters that seemed random are orchestrated, and doors that were previously closed are opening wide. It may feel uncomfortable, it may feel unfamiliar, but that is exactly how God works. He often calls us into situations that stretch us, challenge us, and even frighten us because growth never happens in comfort. Remember, champions, the uncomfortable is often the gateway to the miraculous. I want you to imagine standing in a vast field at dawn. The mist is heavy, the sun is barely visible, and the path ahead seems uncertain. You cannot see where the trail leads, yet every step you take brings clarity. That is what it looks like when you awaken to God's message. You take one step, one act of faith, and suddenly the path becomes illuminated. Suddenly, what was hidden becomes visible. Suddenly, the doors begin to swing wide, and you realize that God's voice was guiding you all along. This is your time to awaken. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop waiting for the world to align. Stop waiting for fear to disappear. God is calling you to action. He is calling you to obedience. He is calling you to trust Him with every step, knowing that when you respond to His urgent message, the shift He is bringing will surpass your expectations. Champions, listen carefully because the message is clear. The timing is now, and the opportunity is yours. Champions, now I want you to embrace the shift with courage. Change is not easy. Change often comes wrapped in uncertainty, and it challenges every comfort zone we have clung to for far too long. But let me tell you something, courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is the decision to step forward in spite of it. I remember a season in my life when I stood at the edge of a tremendous opportunity. The path was unclear. The people around me doubted. Even my own heart trembled. And yet God whispered, "Step into it. I am with you." I took that step and everything changed. The moment I moved in obedience, doors that had been locked for years swung open. Opportunities I had only dreamed of became reality. Relationships aligned. Dreams that had seemed distant and impossible suddenly became tangible. Champions, I want you to see this clearly. The shift God is bringing into your life is not for the timid. It is for the bold. It is for those who are willing to leave behind what is familiar, what is comfortable, and what feels safe because God is leading you into a higher place. I want you to picture standing before a massive river, the current strong, the waters roaring, the other side hidden in mist. Your instincts scream to stay where you are, to remain on the safe shore. But God is on the other side, waiting for you, calling you forward. Courage is stepping into that river, trusting that He will guide you, that He will carry you, and that He has already prepared the path beneath your feet. Every step you take in faith will build the bridge that fear said did not exist. Every act of obedience strengthens your spirit and brings clarity where once there was confusion. Fear wants to keep you small, champions. Fear wants you to stay in the place where you have control, even if it is limited and unfulfilling. But God is calling you to move beyond fear, to embrace the shift, and to step boldly into the new season He has prepared. This is a season of transformation, a season of elevation, and a season where the life you have been longing for becomes a reality. When you move with courage, fear loses its power, doubt dissipates, and God's favor surrounds you like a shield. I want you to feel this in your spirit. The shift is not coming slowly. It is not tentative. It is coming with power, precision, and purpose. Your willingness to embrace it boldly will determine the speed of your breakthrough. Champions, the choice is yours. Will you stay frozen by fear or will you rise? Take the first step and watch as God carries you through every obstacle. Step forward, trust Him, walk boldly, because courage unlocks the doors that hesitation keeps closed, and your destiny is waiting just on the other side. Champions, now is the time to activate your purpose. God has placed within you gifts, talents, and visions that are not meant to remain dormant. Every skill you possess, every experience you have lived through, every challenge you have overcome has prepared you for this very moment. Too often, we wait for the perfect conditions, for the ideal timing, for circumstances to align before we take action. But the truth is, purpose cannot wait. It demands movement. It demands intention. It demands courage. I remember a time in my own life when I had so many dreams, so many plans, but I was paralyzed by fear and hesitation. I kept asking myself, am I ready? Is the time right? And then God spoke to my heart with clarity. Do not wait any longer. Step into what I have prepared for you now. Those words changed everything. I realized that purpose is not a distant destination. It is a call to action, a daily decision to walk in alignment with God's plan for your life. Champions, I want you to see this vividly. Imagine a seed buried deep in the soil. It has all the nutrients, the water, and the potential to grow into a mighty tree. But if it never breaks through the earth, it will never fulfill its destiny. Your purpose is like that seed. You have been nurtured, prepared, and equipped for this season. The moment you step out in faith, you break through the soil of doubt and fear, and your destiny begins to grow and flourish before your very eyes. Activating your purpose requires boldness. It requires taking the first step even when you cannot see the whole path. It requires trusting that God has already paved the way, even if it looks uncertain from where you stand. Champions, God is calling you to move with intentionality, to speak your gifts into the world, and to use every resource He has entrusted to you. The more you move, the more momentum builds. The more you act, the more doors open, and the more you realize that God has already positioned everything in your favor. I want you to feel this truth in your spirit. Purpose is not passive. It cannot be wished into existence or postponed indefinitely. It is lived, experienced, and demonstrated in action. When you activate your purpose now, you align yourself with God's timing, God's plan, and God's power. Everything you have waited for, prayed for, and hoped for begins to manifest because you dared to step forward. Champions, your moment is here. Your mission is calling. Every act of faith, every step of obedience, every word spoken with intention carries you closer to the fulfillment of your God-given destiny. Champions, now it is time to claim your breakthrough. This is not just a concept, it is a reality that is ready to manifest in your life. Every prayer you have uttered, every tear you have shed, every act of faith you have taken has been building toward this very moment. The doors that once seemed closed are now opening. The chains that held you back are breaking. The opportunities that felt distant are moving into alignment with your destiny. You are standing on the edge of a miraculous shift, and God is saying to you today, step in and take what I have already prepared for you. I want you to see it clearly. Imagine standing in a room filled with light, a room you have longed to enter, where everything you need, favor, clarity, provision, relationships, breakthrough, is waiting. You can feel the energy of that room, the power, the potential, the divine presence. That is your breakthrough. But here is the secret. It is not enough to simply see it. You must claim it. You must speak it into existence. You must act as though it is already yours, because faith without action does not move the mountains in your life. Champions, I remember a moment in my own journey when God led me to a door that seemed impossible to open. I hesitated, I questioned, I wondered if I was ready. And then He whispered, "It is yours. Step in." The moment I stepped forward, the chains fell, the opportunities flowed. The favor that I had only imagined became tangible. That is the power of claiming your breakthrough. It requires boldness. It requires alignment. It requires unwavering trust that God has gone ahead of you, clearing the path and preparing the blessings that are rightfully yours. Your breakthrough is not just about material success or visible achievements. It is about transformation. It is about stepping into the fullness of your purpose, walking in your God-given authority, and embracing the life you were created to live. Every limitation, every obstacle, every delay is being removed. The season of struggle is ending, and a new season of elevation, abundance, and divine favor is beginning. Champions, feel the excitement in your spirit. Know that everything you have been waiting for is ready for you to step into. Do not wait another moment. Do not doubt your worthiness. Do not delay your obedience. Speak the words, take the steps, and act with the confidence that God has already made a way. Your breakthrough is not coming slowly. It is here. It is powerful. It is immediate. It is transformative. The doors are opening. The chains are breaking. And your destiny is calling. Claim it, walk into it, and let the fullness of God's favor and purpose manifest in your life. Your breakthrough is not just a possibility. It is your divine inheritance, and it is ready for you now. Champions, there is one more truth I must impress upon your heart. Your moment of transformation is not just about receiving, it is about stepping into divine alignment and walking boldly in the fullness of all that God has prepared for you. So many times we pray, we hope, and we wait for miracles to arrive, but God's favor requires movement. It requires that you rise, stand tall, and take deliberate steps into the destiny He has already positioned before you. I have seen it countless times. The person who hesitates misses the timing, but the one who moves in faith experiences acceleration, breakthrough, and the kind of momentum that seems supernatural. I remember a particular season in my own life when I had prayed for clarity, for direction, for provision. I had prepared myself, readied my heart, and positioned my life for the shift I knew God was orchestrating. And then came the moment when the opportunity appeared, the moment when the door swung wide, the moment when the divine encounter was at my doorstep. The challenge was not in the opportunity itself. It was in the courage to walk forward. I stepped with faith, not knowing exactly what awaited, trusting only that God had gone ahead of me. That single step transformed my life. That single step moved me into divine alignment with purpose, provision, and power beyond what I could have imagined. Champions, I want you to feel this alignment is the secret that transforms potential into reality. You may have prayed for a breakthrough, but the breakthrough is not truly realized until you align your actions, your heart, and your faith with God's timing. Imagine a symphony, every instrument tuned and ready. When each musician plays in perfect harmony, the music rises powerful, resonant, and perfect. That is what your life looks like when you align with God's purpose, every part of your being working in harmony with His divine plan, producing results that are unstoppable, undeniable, and life changing. Do not allow hesitation, doubt, or fear to delay you. Step boldly, champions. Step boldly into the assignment, into the calling, into the opportunity, into the shift that God has prepared for you. The breakthrough, the elevation, the favor, you have been waiting for it, and it is here, but it will not remain in the invisible realm forever. It will only manifest when you step fully, confidently, and obediently into alignment. God is calling you to rise now, to speak, to act, to move with authority, and to claim the life you were designed to live. Feel the power, champions. Feel the movement in the spirit. Know that every delay, every challenge, every obstacle you have faced was only a preparation for this very season. Your waiting is over. Your breakthrough is here. Your alignment is calling you to move with confidence, faith, and boldness. And when you do, you will step into a new reality, a reality that is richer, fuller, and more abundant than you ever imagined. Champions, I want you to understand something profound. Transformation is not a future event. It is happening right now in this very moment, the moment you choose to fully embrace God's purpose and move with faith. Too often, we delay the life that is already ready for us because we are waiting for external validation, perfect timing, or total clarity. Let me tell you something I have learned through my own journey. Clarity comes in motion, not in hesitation. The moment you act on God's calling, the path becomes illuminated, the obstacles begin to vanish, and the favor of heaven starts to accelerate toward you. I remember standing in my office one morning, overwhelmed by the weight of expectation and the uncertainty of the next step. I had prayed, I had prepared, and yet fear tried to convince me to wait just a little longer. And in that quiet moment, God's voice was unmistakable. Move. Now is the time. The instant I obeyed, the chain of delays began to break. Opportunities I had only dreamed of materialized. Connections I had prayed for aligned perfectly. Every step I took after that moment propelled me into a reality far greater than I had imagined. Champions, your breakthrough, your shift, your elevation, begins the moment you step forward, not the moment you feel fully ready. Do you see the beauty of this? The universe and God Himself are conspiring on your behalf, but He requires action from you. Every prayer, every seed of faith, every declaration you have made, these are like sparks waiting to ignite a fire, but fire only burns when you blow on it. Your obedience is the oxygen that sets your blessings ablaze. Imagine a field of dry tinder waiting for a single spark to set the entire landscape alight. That spark is your action. That spark is your faith. That spark is your decision to move, even when the outcome is unseen, even when fear whispers that you are not ready. Champions, know this: your breakthrough will not be delayed any longer. Every door that has seemed closed is about to open. Every promise that seemed distant is about to be fulfilled. Every favor, every blessing, every divine alignment you have been waiting for is here, waiting for your courage to step into it. The world may have told you to be patient, to wait, to hold back, but God is saying the opposite. He is saying, step boldly, rise, act, and claim what I have prepared for you. The time is now. Feel the energy in this moment. Feel the stirring in your spirit, the waiting, the praying, the hoping. It culminates in this very instant. Champions, your life is about to shift in ways you cannot yet fully comprehend. But one thing is certain: God is faithful. He is ready. He is moving. And the moment you choose to act in alignment with Him, your breakthrough will manifest with power, precision, and permanence. Do not hesitate. Do not doubt. Move now, for your destiny is calling, and it is waiting for nothing less than your faith-filled action. Champions, now hear this: the moment you have been waiting for is fully within your reach. The time for hesitation, doubt, and fear has passed. God is calling you to step fully into your destiny, to rise with authority, and to walk boldly into the life He has already prepared for you. Every delay, every setback, every season of waiting, it was not wasted. It was refining you, preparing you, shaping you for this very moment. Your breakthrough is not random. It is divinely orchestrated, carefully aligned with your purpose, and designed to propel you into greater levels of influence, favor, and abundance than you have ever imagined. I remember a season in my own life when doors I thought were permanently closed suddenly began to open in ways I could never have planned. It was as though the universe itself conspired to place everything I needed into perfect alignment. And yet the key was obedience. The key was action. The key was refusing to allow fear or hesitation to rob me of what God had already decreed for me. Champions, God has already set the stage. He has already positioned the people, the resources, the ideas, and the opportunities that will carry you to your next level. Your responsibility is to step in faith, take action, and claim what is yours. I want you to picture yourself standing at the threshold of a new reality. Behind you is the struggle, the waiting, the uncertainty. Ahead of you is clarity, favor, opportunity, and breakthrough. The choice is yours. Will you remain in the place of waiting, or will you step forward, trusting that God has gone before you? Champions, the moment you move, everything shifts. Momentum builds, favor multiplies, doors open that no man can close. And suddenly, the life you envisioned, the destiny you longed for, becomes your lived reality. Your breakthrough is not just for today, it is for the season, the decade, and the legacy that God is calling you to establish. Every act of faith, every declaration of belief, every step forward is a brick laid in the foundation of a life that will inspire generations. God is calling you to rise, to shine, and to walk in the fullness of your purpose with boldness, courage, and confidence. Do not allow anyone or anything to diminish the call on your life. Do not let fear or doubt whisper that you are not ready. Champions, you are more than ready. You are equipped, you are empowered, and this moment is your divine appointment to step into the extraordinary. So rise up, step forward, move with courage, speak your faith, take action. Your breakthrough, your elevation, your destiny, it is not tomorrow, it is not next week, it is now. God has declared it. The heavens are aligned, and every blessing, favor, and opportunity is waiting for you to claim it. Champions, the shift has begun, and your life will never be the same again.